She's directed films during a pandemic, premiered at Sundance, and juggled passion projects with pregnancy, but nothing could have prepared her for the intensity of what came next. I'm pregnancy-focused chiropractor Dr. Elliot Berlin, and you're listening to the Informed Pregnancy Podcast. Carlson Young, welcome back to the podcast. Congratulations. Last time we talked to you, you were 39 weeks. You had your bags packed. The nursery was ready.
Yeah.
Logistic things were under control. And all I know since then is that A, you had the baby, and B, you said it was a harrowing experience.
Yes, it was. It was a major magical trip of an experience.
Well,
But
let's talk about that last because I interviewed you at 39 weeks, so you're getting pretty close.
yes, I guess when I talked to you, I was maybe like a week out, something like this. Because I think I was a bit earlier. I might have been 37 weeks when I talked to you.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I delivered right at the actual day of 38 weeks.
Oh, a 38?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened in the week in between?
Well, let's see. So the start of I gave birth on a Thursday. On the Monday, I started feeling really crampy and like she was super low. I could barely walk. And I felt like, okay, like I think my body is starting something here. And then by Tuesday, I was having a lot of cramping and contractions, at least what I assumed were contractions, because I was like, this feels very different. And I think I was having some level of back labor because my back was just what was really killing me. So I called Dr. Rothbard and I said, I'm pretty sure I'm having contractions. I don't know if it's exactly timed 551 or how they say that, but it's pretty painful. And he said, can you still, talk through the contractions? And I was like, I mean, yes, I can. I just have to like freeze my whole body. And he said, well, come to the hospital when it is truly you can't speak anymore. I think that would probably be best as I don't want them to turn you away. So I said, okay, and stuck it out for another day. And
Oh,
then
wow.
I went to the hospital and I was 3 centimeters then when I got to the hospital.
Well, that's pretty cool that you got there 3 centimeters. I have so many questions already. Number one, like, was it on a pattern at that time? Were you feeling them every X number of minutes or?
Yes, it was every X number of minutes, but they weren't super close together. It was like one every like 15 minutes, And then they would disappear for like 2 or 3 hours. That's
Interesting.
why I kind of, yeah, I was like, I don't really like know what's going on. I feel like my body is slowly, gradually going into something.
And you were feeling them mostly in your back or some in the back and
Some in the back, some in the front. Certainly the most severe ones were like in my pelvis.
in like your pubic pelvis in
Yes,
the front? Okay.
yes.
And what did you do for passing the time getting through those?
Let's see. I was just bouncing like a maniac on the ball, on the little exercise ball. I was trying to walk as much as I could, like between, not obviously during a contraction, but I was trying to move to just like get the process officially off to the races. And so I was walking. And then what really like straw that broke the camel's back and sent me to the hospital was my mom came in town because I called her and I said, I really think that it's going to be like tonight or tomorrow. I think my body is like, I think we're going into this. So she got on a flight, God bless her, and like came in like 3 hours. It was so cool,
Oh,
meaningful. And so did my sister. And so they both showed up. And I was like, well, no contractions right now. Let's go on a hike. So we walked to the end of my street and we went on this little hike. And I got about 10 minutes down the path and I said, we need to turn around right now. This is not happening. So I like kind of trekked back up the hill, got in the car, and went to the hospital.
and you were 3 centimeters. Can you compare the sensation of those surges that you were having at home to anything else that you've experienced before?
No, I actually had no level of expectation because I knew it was somewhere between a period cramp and something completely foreign. but no, like it's like surges through your entire body. And so I found myself just kind of like on my hands and knees trying to breathe.
Hmm. When you got to the hospital, did you have an expectation in your mind about where your cervix might be?
I was like, I would be shocked if I was not somewhere on the wheel of dilation.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because of what I had been feeling. And I do have a pretty high pain tolerance. At least that's what my husband and my family says. So, but I was like, but nonetheless, like, I'm going to be really shocked if I'm not somewhere on the spectrum. And so I wasn't surprised to hear that I was.
Okay, so 3 centimeters, you get admitted.
Hmm.
What happens next?
I had slightly high blood pressure, but it was because they had taken all my vitals while I was having a contraction. So it wasn't anything to worry about. They were like, that we feel you're normal now, that we rechecked it. So we think that was just a contraction related. So they admit me. I get in, I go to the room, everything is fine. And, I had said before I wanted to wait as long as possible to get the epidural to kind of let gravity do its thing and let the rhythm start. So I got into the room. I went from 3 to 4 in an hour, which was really fast. And then in the middle of 4 to 5, they kept asking me, like, you sure you don't want the epidural? You sure you don't want the epidural? Because it could take up to an hour to kick in. And like, we don't, scheduling wise, we don't know how quickly we can get someone here. So in the middle of that 4 to 5, I said, okay, actually, yeah, sure, let's get that epidural going.
What was it like placing the epidural? Did you have any concerns about it, or you're cool with
No,
it?
I was like so uncomfortable and in pain that I was like, you just put that thing right in there. I didn't even like flinch. My husband was like, that was astonishing. You literally did not. Like that was like you did not even flinch. And I'm like, yeah, I mean it felt like a shot. I don't know. It's like felt like that. It wasn't anything that was particularly painful in comparison to what you're feeling at the time. So yeah,
Did your mom or sister come with you also, or
they did. My husband was in the room and my mom was in the room actually the whole time.
oh wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool support.
Yeah, it was really cool. And if you had asked me, hey, do you want your mom in the room for your entire labor? I would have said no. But at the time it just like made sense and I wanted as much support as possible.
Okay, so get the epidural, and then you stop feeling the pain altogether.
Yeah, and then it takes, 10, 15 minutes. I'm just flying high. I am totally good. And I felt amazing. And I kind of like lay back and I feel like, frankly, it's almost like I felt so good. And my body kind of entered this really positive kind of spiritual experience. And then after about an hour of feeling great, things started to shift. And I was laying there and I started to get really agitated, like really, really agitated and feeling weird. And so I sat up and I was like very dizzy and my ears were ringing and I just started projectile vomiting, a lot of throwing up, and all the doctors rushed in, and I just was having like crazy low blood pressure, like a blood pressure crash.
So when you first got there, a little high during your contraction,
Yes.
now it's dropping out.
Dropping out. And so,
Is that a result of the epidural, like a side effect
yeah,
of the
so
epidural?
they put some blood pressure medication in my IV. It stabilized things, and they, kind of asking me how I was feeling. I was like, I don't know how to articulate this, but I feel like because I can't feel anything, it's freaking my body out and like all of that whatever energy is down there that I can't feel, it seems to be like radiating upward. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's just my suspicion. And they said, well, let's, turn down the epidural. Like you're at a 10 right now, let's take it down to an 8. So you'll feel a little pressure but no pain. And I said, I think that's great. I think that would like ground me a lot. And so they did that. And everything kind of started going back to normal and my vitals chilled out and I was back in the
Oh,
game.
welcome back. What time did you get to the hospital?
I got there around 5 to 6 p.m. on Wednesday.
Okay, and do you have an idea where on the clock you are when you have this crash?
It was around 2 to 3 a.m., I believe.
Okay. And then when you come back and the drugs are a bit more muted,
Hmm.
are you starting to feel some of the contractile activity? And what do you
Yeah,
feel?
I did. I started to feel like it just felt like pressure. It wasn't pain.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm super curious what happens next. Let's take a little break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're talking to Carlson Young, and I should say, just like Mama of 1 week, this was not that long ago
No, it was not
that
that
this was
long ago.
all going down.
Fresh on my
Um,
mind, exactly 1 week ago to be exact.
yeah, it's a week. Congratulations. Okay, so what happened is you go in, you're 3 centimeters, you're progressing nicely, you're uncomfortable, and I think just like I am, like if I'm in my office and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a good diet day today, and then someone keeps coming in with piping hot cinnamon streusel donuts. You all right? You sure you don't want a donut? No, okay.
Yeah, no, it was
Well,
exactly. It's very
yeah, then I tackle the guy and have the whole box of donuts. And so you got the epidural, and then it's going well, but then a couple hours later, it sounds like you crash. Your blood pressure just crashes, and then you
blood pressure
resolve it.
crashes out. Yep.
A little meds to help you boost your blood pressure and also turning down the epidural. Now you're feeling pressure. When's the next time that you check to see your progression?
They checked me, gosh, I don't know, somewhere an hour, 2 hours after that. Hours just fly by. Like it was crazy the way that I would just be sitting there and be like, oh, well, it's been an hour. Someone's here again. Like time was a very different, it was like on a different field in that room. And what was really funny was I was staring at this broken clock on the wall that the hands of the clock kept going and just like spazzing out. And then like there was a digital part of the clock that just kept like blinking zeros and then would like do random numbers. And we were laughing. We're like, I feel like I'm in a David Lynch movie right now.
Yeah,
Like
I was just thinking that. Horror
this
film.
clock is like not working. Is anybody seeing this? And then everyone was laughing about the clock, and they were like, "It's very appropriate that this is the clock that would be in your room." But yeah, no, time was like a very strange thing during this whole experience. So they checked me about 2 hours later, and I was only at a five, which I was shocked because it had been several hours at that point, and the last time they checked me, I was in between a four and a five. So like my dilation process just like completely stalled when I got the epidural, which is what I was kind of afraid of, and which was what I wanted to avoid. Alas,
Were
things
they surprised or just you surprised?
just me. I mean, they weren't concerned or anything like this or surprised. They were just like, yeah, it sounds normal. But I was like, oh, damn it. I wish that I had held out a little longer because I was just like so going. And then the epidural just brought everything to a screeching halt.
Right, and you had like one of those cases where you just went into labor spontaneously, did some work at home, got in a good rhythm, and things were going nicely. And then we intervened a little.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Okay.
I said yes to the donut.
You said yes to the donut. There's always an upside and a downside to the donut.
Yeah.
All right, so you're a little surprised, maybe even frustrated.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe it's been all these hours and I've like not even made so much progress. And so it was just hours and hours. I finally get up to, let's see, like an eight or a nine, and I'm getting close. And by the way, I am like starving. I did not realize that that you couldn't eat once you got to the hospital. And I frankly had not been very terribly hungry for the Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday leading up to going to the hospital. Like my stomach
Oh,
was so
your
squished.
tank is
But
on empty.
yeah, like I went in on empty because I wasn't able to eat that much that week. So I kept like my mom was like making fun of me yesterday. She's like, you would not stop asking the staff, anybody that you could find for
For some food.
like I was begging. I'm like, hey guys, just like I think I asked somebody for a single goldfish at one point. Like I please, like you have got to give me something to eat. Because I didn't have any fuel. Like I
But didn't
was
they, I mean, at least have, I haven't been there
yes,
in a while, but
Jello,
yeah, Jello and ices. Not that they do this here,
Jello,
but
ice, and I got all that stuff at different points in the night and the early morning, but it's just like I mean, it's all just like sugar and water.
yeah, it
And
doesn't, I don't fully get it. At home, you just eat whatever you're hungry for.
totally.
With
And
like
I
Midwest
guess it's
system.
like, if they need to put you under or something like this. But
It's a lot of
anyway,
ifs.
nobody told me that. If I had known that, I would have like fueled up a little bit better, more efficiently before I went to the
I mean,
hospital.
I think what I see people do is fuel up their little hospital bag with
Totally.
Cheetos and stuff, and then,
I had so many snacks. I brought lots of snacks actually. I had a whole snack bag and I couldn't even eat any of them and I was like glaring at Isom like in the corner like chowing down. Like I am so jealous.
people usually just do it when there's nobody in the room with you.
Yeah.
You followed the rules.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I should have just done my own thing, but I was like being as uncharacteristically rigid rule follower. And I was
And
starving.
also,
I was
one of
so
the things
hungry.
you said in the pre-birth interview is that it was important to you to maintain energy.
Oh, I
So
wish I had the cliff notes of our call so I could have remembered that.
not being able to eat is definitely not working towards that goal.
No.
Okay. So wait, but did you say you or 8 or 9, meaning you progressed to 8 or 9 centimeters?
Yes, I mean, but over the course of like 10 hours, like it was so long. So if
What
I
were you
was a,
doing during that time? Are you like,
I was, God, it's a really good question. I don't know. Like, I don't know. My husband had his laptop open and we were watching Return of the King. We were watching Lord of the Rings, but I kept kind of like we kept stopping and starting because I was just very sensitive. Like anything that yeah, I was getting overstimulated like really easily. So we'd be like talking, and I'd be like, everyone shut up. Talking, everyone shut up.
oh,
It was like
were you like that with temperature too? Like getting hot and cold or
yes. And I was just like side to side to side to side to side. And by the way, little girl inside of me was completely nonplussed. Like throughout the entire thing, she could not be bothered. She was steady, so steady the entire 27 hours labor.
during the times of emotional sensitivity?
Mm.
What was comforting to you?
Oh man. I just had to breathe through it. I mean, there was at one point where I just was like bawling uncontrollably. Like I was crying and crying. I don't know why. If you ask me why, I would say I don't know. I just felt these like tidal waves of emotion just crashing over me. I was very emotional. I think my hormones were just going bananas. And then I would be okay. And then once I got through the tears, it was like a wave of anxiety. And then I would breathe through that and get through that. And the only fuel that I had, because no one would give me a snack, was breath. It was all that I had. So I would just breathe. I was finding incredible refuge in the breath.
I think also breath is our portal of entry into taking control, taking the reins of the
Mhm.
autonomic nervous system.
Yes,
And by setting the tone with slow, deep breathing, you're telling the whole nervous system, regardless of what you're thinking, we're not in danger.
yeah,
And you can kind of let the fear go, let the anxiousness go, you can let
yeah,
the adrenaline go, and, to the extent possible, replace it with oxytocin at that time,
right.
which is the more ideal hormone. Okay, so all this time passes, you get close to 10 centimeters.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I'm on a Pitocin drip
Oh,
this whole.
okay, augmenting the labor.
Yes,
Is that because you hadn't progressed
that's right.
past 5, so they started around then?
That's right.
Oh, that's how you got to 9 quickly. I'm like,
That's how I,
all of a sudden you're like, yeah, now I'm 9. I'm like, how'd
yeah.
that happen?
Well, even with the Pitocin, it took hours and hours. And I kept being like, yo, you wanna up that Pitocin?
But
Make
did
this
you have some place to be?
make this go a little quicker. I
Well, you
know,
needed your
right?
snack. You
I
needed some
know.
cold food.
I'm like, I need something to eat. But yeah, it was gradual. It was gradual even with the Pitocin. So by the time I get to 8, 9, I'm doctors are kind of coming in, getting ready. They let my doctor know that I was not so far away at this point, and I start. I guess I get to 9, and then we have the pushing conversation, and I start learning how to push, which I didn't realize that you can only push when you're in the middle of a contraction. I didn't realize that was your window. So that was new to me.
It's really interesting the way it happens at the hospital, and again, the way it happens at home or with midwife care in general. Oftentimes, they don't tell you anything about pushing. Now, it's a little different because you're numb
Yeah.
from the medication, so maybe you need coaching in that case. But at home, you just get an urge at some point to push.
Yes. Yes.
When you have the urge, you push, and when you don't, you don't. And sometimes the urge coincides just right with the surge, the contraction. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Um, at the hospital, it tends to be a very, very heavily coached part of the labor where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna
I
pull your legs back, take a deep breath in
almost,
it.
I felt like I was like on a sports team, or something. Like I felt like we were all like huddling up and like creating a strategy. Like it really did feel like that. So once that happens, I start feeling enormous amounts of pain. So much so that, everyone's like, do we need to just like pump this epidural up, or we need to get you like a push cocktail through the epidural because it's not supposed to be hurting like this
Where were you feeling that pain?
in my pelvis. So then a little more information, she is stuck. Like she's so low. By the way, this entire process, like she was in, they kept saying station 1. Like she was
+1 or
incredibly
-1? Oh, low, +1.
low, +1.
Okay.
So she, like the entire labor, even when I came in, like she was in low, like she was essentially in position. It was just about getting my cervix to match where she was. So she, at a certain point in those very late dilation hours, I start feeling insane, insane contraction pain. And I'm like, this epidural is actually not working at all. And they like talking me through it. I'm trying to remember play by play. It was insanely painful. And I kept like turning side to side to side to side. And I was 100% effaced. She's in position, and my cervix is just lagging behind a little bit. So they were giving me medicine for that.
Medicine for your cervix to finish the ripening or
Or,
opening,
yeah,
or
finish the
do
ripening
they try to do it manually, like move it out of the
manually.
way? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
manually. So they were doing that, and I couldn't feel that. But there was like a certain part of the contraction that my epidural like was not covering. It was like localized, really low in my pelvis. I know they kept saying localized pain. So I'm side to side to side to side, essentially experiencing the pain of the contraction at 9, 10 centimeters. It was really, really intense.
Hmm. It seems
And
like a weird combination actually, because you're feeling some of the pain, but you also don't have all the mobility.
no. So I kept
So,
having to be like, somebody turn me.
oh, that's such a weird sensation.
I'm
Wow.
turning like a rotisserie chicken, but I have like no feeling whatsoever, technically. But like I can feel it, but I can't, but I can. It was very strange. My brain was going like nuts. Like, what is going on?
It's going nuts right now. All right. Hopefully, I mean, it sounds like you're getting close. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll get the rest of this harrowing story. Welcome back. What a weird sensation Carlson Young is feeling at this point in her story. The pain of the surges at 9 centimeters is coming through, but not everywhere, just spotty coverage like my cell carrier. And then also can't really move. So like normally when you feel, if you're not medicated and you feel that discomfort, you just naturally move into positions that are more comfortable and probably your body wants you to move there, so more productive. But here, people are just having to flip you around from side to side. Now, you're learning how to push. Are you starting to push already, even though you're not fully 10 centimeters?
No, I want to say it was kind of like soft push practice.
Oh, test push.
Yeah, test push. So then I get to 9, 5, 10, I think, somewhere in the middle of 9 and 10. So then I do start pushing because my cervix has gotten to where I think it was like just right there. And like they were manually trying to get it there. And then finally it's there. So I pushed for a total of 2.5 hours. And the first hour of that was without the doctor. So it was two nurses, my mom, my sister, and my husband. And I swear to God, couldn't have done it without every single one of them. Like it was.
Okay, so that's a lot of pushing. Did they resolve the situation where you're still feeling a lot?
So for the first hour of pushing, I was feeling it. Like it was really, really painful. And they were giving me different like levels of things and kind of seeing what would work. Finally, they gave me a push cocktail, they said, that through my epidural that ended up working. I really didn't want to stop the progress by not feeling anything because I knew that my body just does not seem to respond well to the no feeling whatsoever. So I was kind of like pushing through the pain and just accepting that like this is going to be really painful. And
Are you on
I,
your back?
yeah, I'm on my back with a little bit of prop up.
Okay. Are people pulling your legs back?
Yes. Yeah. I got a nurse on one leg, got my sister on one leg, and I got my husband like holding my back up.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of support, I guess.
Yes. It was like a lot of support. By the way, I should say that was not the positioning for the first hour and a half. That's just when I got so tired that I was just kind of like a limp noodle.
The energy management wasn't happening.
Energy management was nowhere to be found. And I kept like saying to everyone, like, guys, like my arms have given out. My arms have given out. I cannot use my arms anymore. I can't pull my legs back because my arms are noodles at this point. Like I kind of like taxed myself out in all of the first hour.
Are they giving you feedback on your pushing?
Yeah, yeah, everyone's like, good, good, yes, that's good, that's good. Keep going, keep going. And so I would give every single push, I would give it all I got.
Hmm.
Like I was determined.
Did they offer you to look with a mirror?
Yes. So at first I was like, nah, no, thank you. I will, no, pass, pass. And then, yeah, after an hour and a half, I said, absolutely bring that mirror over here. And all of you guys hold up my limbs like a marionette. Like, only like modesty. What is modesty? Everyone get over here. This has got to be a full team effort.
Grab a seat.
Yeah.
Was it weird to watch?
Yes, it was shocking. Shocking. Like I've seen a birth video, but like I was like, "Oh my God." Like that's what's going on down there. Right, right. Okay, I see why this mirror is important and it helped me focus my energy on an end goal and on a fixed point, and it was actually incredibly helpful to see what was going on. It made a lot of difference.
Made more efficient pushing?
Yes, made pushing
Okay,
more efficient.
cool. How much longer?
Another hour and a half. Oh my God, it was so, so taxing. My body was so tired. And like I said, I kept giving every push, everything I got, everything I got, everything I got. And you could see her head the whole time. It was crazy. Is in the mirror, once they brought over the mirror at an hour and a half, you can see her head. Like she had a full head of hair. And it was like the nurse was like, "You can braid her hair." And I was like, "Oh my God." Like what? Nobody in my family has ever had hair, by the way. Like we're all
Birth.
baldies when we're born. And so like that was really fascinating. And I can see it. I can literally look in the mirror and see this baby's head. and she's just stuck. She's stuck in my pelvis, like, but she has to go, like, she's got to get under this bone to come out. So I'm just trying with everything that I have to get her through that final checkpoint. And so finally the doctor comes in. Dr. Rothbard gets there. And it's like he is such a magical elf man that it feels like when he walks in the room that everything just stands still. It's like this eerily magical calm. And he is just such a calming presence. And so like when I see him, like I'm like, I am doing this. Like I'm doing it. I have to do this. He's here. And so it kind of I feel like this sort of ceremony like commences at that point. And so he starts his thing and just so much oil on me and like massaging down there and like trying, he's like, it's so crazy how much hair she has. And just like really working it down there. And I couldn't feel anything, like I said. And then the push cocktail kicks in, and then the contractions become just pressure. So even though I can't feel the pain, I can still feel vaguely where and when the wave of contraction is coming. So I know when to push, and I would just sit there and be like, okay, everybody, let's go. And then sure enough, on the machine, it would be like contraction. So I was in control in that sense of the pressure was felt enough to where I had kind of a map of where and when to push. And so my muscles are nowhere to be found in this last 30 minutes. My arms are shaking, like I'm just so out of gas. And I start making this connection like my mom was in my ear and she just kept saying like use your head, use your head, use your head. And when I started to use my head started making this connection of breath, and that the only fuel source that I have at my disposal at this point is my breath. And so I started like creating this like modular breath pattern in my head of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but using like the strength of my breath in different levels during that 5 seconds. And so once I started making that connection, I stopped trying to use my muscles and I stopped trying to exert physical effort and just using like my breath in this like downward motion, like downward flow motion, and like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big five. And once I started to do that, she came. She came all the way and she was sunny side up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So it sounds like it didn't really take that many pushes once you
It was like, I think it was like
made that
half hour.
connection.
It was like a half an hour from there.
Did you feel something different when she came through?
I mean, it was just this enormous relief. And they throw her on my chest, and I just was like in shock. My husband was bawling and crying. I was in shock. I could not believe it. I'd been staring at this head for hours, and then all of a sudden she like has a face and a body, and she's like a real little baby, and she just laid on my chest and she just stared up at me for what felt like an eternity. She was just staring at me, and it was the most beautiful thing ever.
Mm, wow. She didn't cry?
She did. She cried like I guess after everyone's like bopping her around and she cried. She let us know that she was okay. But no, I mean she was very observant. She cried and like she got through the blue and she turned like a normal color fairly quickly. She had a little cone head because she was truly stuck in that pelvis for a long time. She was so observant. She was just staring and staring at me. It was so sweet.
Wow. That's such a beautiful moment. I have a couple of questions for you.
Give it.
Congratulations again.
And by the way, Sunny Side Up, that was a part of the challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Two questions. One is, when did you get to eat and what was it?
So we get to the postpartum room and we ordered pizza.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's celebratory cuisine. And then How's the first week of motherhood been?
It's been like a dream. All of the cliches, like every day I find myself speaking in cliches, which is embarrassing as an English major, but I cannot believe like how amazing it is, and the love is obscene, obscene. We cannot stop looking at her. She's perfect. I just did not even know that this was possible. Yeah, not at all.
You mentioned when I interviewed you before you had the baby that your approach to birth would be a blend of intention and surrender.
Mm,
Sounds like that was accurate.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do wish I had taken notes on my own self when we talked, because the fuel thing was like a big hurdle that I took me 27 hours to figure it out.
To get some pizza.
You had to get some Papa John's.
And that you expected that it would be unpredictable and that you would try to be flexible and adapt in the moment
Hmm.
and that you would ask
Hmm.
for help when you need it. It just sounds like, generally
Yeah,
speaking, it was how you sort of visioned it.
yeah, yeah. I had a friend come over last night and meet her, and I was telling her the story, and she was like, "Well, look," she's like, "You go hard. You go hard. Like, you go into the hospital, like, you knew it was going to be some level of intense." And I was like, "You're right. Very true."
Yeah, it sounds like kind of a really beautiful birth story. I wonder, looking back, is there anything that either you would have done different or next time, something you learned from this experience that if you did it again, you would be like, maybe I'll do it this time.
I think my one note is the food. I mean, and also I didn't know you could like sneak a little snack. What? Nobody told me that.
I used to have a doctor that told his patients all the time, actually at the same hospital, you know, if they ask you when the last time you ate was, or he would say this about the external version, when you go try to turn the baby and, anesthesia asks you when was the last time you ate. He's like, you either have to not have breakfast or tell them that you didn't have breakfast. He would
Oh.
literally tell his patients that. So, it's,
You live and you learn.
yeah. My sense is we should tell you the pros and cons of eating and not eating and let you be an adult.
Right.
It doesn't exactly work that way. Cool. Now, one thing you told me also before the baby came is that 5 weeks after the baby comes, you're shipping off to Spain to do a
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
That seems like it's only a few weeks away now.
It's just a few weeks away. Just applied for her little baby passport and getting her little photo tomorrow. So yeah, that's all still happening, and she's so perfect. I cannot wait to have this experience with her. Like, I can't imagine ever doing anything without her ever again. It's
Uh,
crazy.
Carlson, I'm so happy for you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for coming and sharing your story. Where can we find you online?
Instagram, it's just, or Twitter, it's just Carlson Young.
The Gram or X?
And yeah,
Amazing. Thank you again for sharing at home. Thanks for listening to
thank
the
you for
Informed
having
Pregnancy.
me.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have you anytime you want to come back. I was saying during the break, you're such a great storyteller.
That's
You
kind.
had me. I was like, okay, then what happened? Okay, now what happened? Thank you. And home, thanks for listening to the Informed Pregnancy Podcast. For more pregnancy and parenting information just like this, visit us online at informedpregnancy.com.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got